What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on A&W Fishing, we are going to be doing a little tip video for you guys. Going to be talking about 3 big mistakes that I see people making with a jerkbait. Jerkbait's one of my all-time favorite baits to throw, and yeah, so avoid these 3 mistakes and it'll make you a lot better at fishing a jerkbait. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into mistake number 1. Alrighty, so mistake number 1 that I see a lot of anglers making is overcomplicating the color game. Colors are, a lot of people, I think they're a little bit overrated in bass fishing a little bit. It's kind of to an extent though, but honestly, there are really like 2 main colors that I use. They're not super specific, but like 2 kind of categories I'd say that I use, but in a jerkbait. Anyways, so first category we got kind of like this is like a matte shad type of color. This is the Megabass 110+1 and matte shad, and a similar version is this. The similar type of color is the Shimano's Inverno 95. This is Ghost AU, but you can see it's kind of more of like a natural, more kind of either matte or translucent shad color. That's kind of gonna be my first kind of color like category, almost, is kind of these more natural colors. Like anything really that's like looks like a shad and isn't too like bold, that's gonna be kind of my first color choice. So I'm gonna use these type of colors a lot of times in a little bit clearer water, or maybe more pressured fish, more finicky fish, that type of stuff. That's when I'm gonna use these a little bit more natural colors, kind of. And then my second category of colors here is going to be more of my bolder, almost kind of like a white. So that's going to be my next category. This is a Megabass 110+1 Junior here. This is the OB French Pearl, I think is what it's called, but it's kind of like more of a pearl white type of color. I really like this in more stained water, and I feel like sometimes in that more stained water you can get a reaction bite out of this color a lot of times. But that's my other type of color. I don't like to get too complicated, because I'll kind of experiment with both of them a lot of times in the water, see which ones they like better. If I'm not getting bit on one, then I'll switch over to another. But yeah, that's kind of the thought process in the colors. I think a lot of people over exaggerate colors, like, oh, you need a translucent blue, white, whatever, I don't even know. But I think that really there's these 2 categories, like more of like a either matte or translucent type of shad color, and then like a more of like a white. Those are kind of like the 2 main like color categories for me. I'm not really too complicated in it, as long as it looks like a shad and it's natural, and then as long as it's like more of a bolder kind of white type of color. That's kind of really the only things that I'm kind of worried about when it comes to color in a jerkbait. But yeah, that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 here, not ever mixing up your cadence. So cadence is like basically kind of how you work the bait. So I've got my jerkbait rod here, and really a lot of times what you're gonna be doing with the jerkbait is you're twitching and reeling in that slack kind of while you twitch it almost. But I think a lot of people, they kind of get that main cadence that they've caught fish on or something like that, or that they hear on a YouTube video, and that's the one they're gonna go out and fish every time. Like for some people, it's like a 1, 1, 2, and they'll let it pause for 3 seconds. But the reason why you don't want to do that same cadence every single time is the fish just can want it faster one day, they can want it slower one day. You kind of got to experiment with that. So there's been days, especially in the warmer months, like once that water temp gets above like 50, 55 degrees, kind of in that March to May time frame, or even like in the fall sometimes too, a lot of times I'm fishing that jerkbait pretty fast. So you kind of really want to play with your cadence a lot of times. Like sometimes they want that thing where you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you're just like really fishing that thing fast. And then there'll be other days, especially most of the time in the colder months, when these bass want a little bit slower cadence. So you kind of got to play with that. You don't want to fish the same cadence every single time you're out there on the water. That's a big deal for me, at least. But yeah, mix up your cadence. That's just a big deal for me. Don't go out there and fish that same cadence every single time. You want to make sure you're mixing it up, and as someone who uses forward-facing sonar, I can definitely tell that there are days where they want that thing slower and where they want that thing faster. But yeah, anyways, that's the thing. That's mistake number 2 here. Mistake number 3 that I see people making is not having their drag set on a jerkbait. So a jerkbait, as you can tell, has 3 little tiny treble hooks in them. They're light wire and they bend out easy. So with that being said, with the lighter wire hooks, you don't want to pull those hooks out of the fish. That's a big deal. And I've lost some fish because of it. And ever since I lost a couple of fish because I had my drag too tight or had it locked down, then I've started loosening up my drag to where those fish can pull if needed. So anyways, that is a big key for me. So I'm gonna have that drag set kind of where I feel like I'm not like, I still want to be able to reel, of course, and like pick up line to where when it's just dead weight, I'm not pulling drag, but I want to have it loose enough to where if those fish need to make a run and I'm not ready for it, to where I can't thumb it, then those fish can pull. So as you can see, it's not very tight. It's pretty loose. That's a big deal for me, especially when I'm around bigger fish, is you do not want to horse these fish in too much with the jerkbait. You want, I mean, even with these bigger ones here, with these full-size baits, I mean, they're still pretty light wire and small treble hooks. Like, these things bend out, and I've had them bend out on me, and yeah, it's a big deal. Make sure you have that drag pretty loose. Another thing you can do to help with that, with hooks bending out, is if you're throwing the mega bass jerkbait, this is kind of like an extra thing. But yeah, change the hooks out. Just do it. The mega bass hooks that come on there are absolutely terrible. They're sharp, but they bend out and absolutely no pressure. So do yourself a favor, get yourself some owners or some Gamakatsus, and either like a number 5 or a number 6, and change the hooks out. It's a big deal for me. Make sure you have your drag set. I can't stress that enough, because it will, I promise you, it'll make you land more fish if you just have your drag set on the jerkbait. But yeah, anyways, those are 3 mistakes that I see people making with a jerkbait. I will link my jerkbait setup in the description here. This is just an X-Pride jerkbait rod. I won't talk about it too much, but X-Pride jerkbait rod, 610 medium with a Daiwa Tatula SV70, 8-to-1, 12-pound fluoro. This is Sunline Sniper, and that's the setup. But yeah, anyways, I'll link that in the description, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that hype button if it pops up there for you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time on A&W Fishing.